So we'll just remind the names of the channel one more time. In logical channel, these are the channels: PGCS, paging control channel; BCCS, broadcast control channel; CCCS, common control channel; DCCH, dedicated control channel; DTCH, dedicated traffic channel; MCCH, multicast control channel; MTCH, multicast traffic channel. Okay. And in transport channels, PCH, paging channel; BCH, broadcast channel; upper link share channel; downlink share channel; multicast channel; and random access channel. And in physical downlink share channel, physical broadcast channel, physical uplink share channel, physical downlink share channel, physical multicast channel, and physical random access channel. These are the channels in these three different type of configuration. And these are some uh, control informations: DCI, downlink control information; CFI, control format indicator; HI, hybrid ARQ indicator; UCI, uplink control information. And in physical channel, these are mapped with this control information. Okay. Then we have seen how this uh, information is framed in the time domain. Okay. So this time domain has a sampling time of 32.6 nanosecond, and this is the frame structure type 1, which used for FDD mode. And in one radio frame is of 10 millisecond. In one radio frame there are 20 slots. Two consecutive slots are known as one subframe of 1 millisecond. One slot is of 0.5 millisecond, and each slot contain our OFDM symbols. How many OFDM symbols it will contain? It depends on the CP, cyclic prefix we are using. For normal CP, one slot of 0.5 millisecond will contain 7 OFDM symbols, 0 to 6, 7. And this gray color is shown here as a cyclic prefix. For extended cyclic prefix, when we increase the time period of cyclic prefix, the total number of OFDM symbol in a one slot reduced to 6, from 7 to 6. And this is frame 2, which is used in TDD mode. So only difference is between subframes. They have added 3 more things. One is downlink, pilot time slot, guard period, and uplink pilot time slots. Okay. Now next topic is physical resource block for OFDMA. So remember this thing we are doing for downlink. The main topic is downlink OFDMA radio resources. Okay. So there are 3 main things in physical resource block for OFDMA. One is resource grid, second is resource element, third one is resource block. What is a resource grid? In LTE, information is organized as a function of frequency as well as time using resource grid. So uh, if we see the LTE or any other communication, mobile communication, so what are the available resources we have? Time and frequency. Okay, so this resource grid will tell us how information is organized in these resources, these 2 resources, frequency and time. Then resource element. Basic unit is a resource element. Smallest unit of that resource grid is resource element, and a group of resource element is known as resource block. For that you see this figure first, then you will understand little bit. Okay. This side it is your time domain. This vertical is your frequency domain. This is an example of a resource grid. In a resource grid, for example, here 12 there are 12 resource blocks. These are resource blocks, and one resource block is this one. Okay, and this smallest box in this resource grid is known as resource element. Is known as resource element. Okay, and how these IGs of resource grid, this resource block and resource element are defined. So this is your time. This axis is your time, and it will the size of this axis is one slot. One slot is 0.5 millisecond. We have just seen that one slot is of 0.5 millisecond. And how many of the symbol one slot will contain in normal CP? 7. So in case of normal CP, there are 7 symbols. You can see 7 small blocks. Okay. If we see this time domain, the size is 7 because there are 7 symbols. And now if we see frequency domain, this axis, vertical axis, how many number of blocks will be there? It depends on the difference between two subcarriers. Okay, delta F. So for delta F is equal to 15, and this total size is 180 kilohertz, we will get 12 subcarriers. So in vertical side we have 12 blocks, 12 resource elements. So this is how it is defined, the size of a resource block. Okay, and the smallest unit is resource element. A group of resource element will make resource block. Okay, so resource grid, it will tell how a user going to use time and frequency resources in the form of a resource grid. Then resource element, it is the basic unit is a resource element which spans one symbol by one subcarrier. Each resource element usually carries 2, 4 or 6 physical channel bits depending on whether modulation scheme is QPSK 16 QM or 64 QM. Okay, so this resource this resource element will carry the bits, and how many bits it will carry, it depends on the modulation technique which have been used. Then resource block. This resource block, it's a group of resource elements. Resource elements are grouped into resource block, each of which spans 0.5 millisecond. Okay. Okay. So time span is 0.5 millisecond, means one time slot. And one by 180 kilohertz. Frequency domain is 180 kilohertz. In case of 15 kilohertz subcarrier gap, it is 12 subcarriers. Okay, so the size is 0.5 millisecond into 180 kilohertz. The base station use resource blocks for frequency dependent scheduling and by allocating the symbols and subcarriers within each subframe in units of resource blocks. Okay, this resource block is used by base station to allocate the frequency to users. Okay. You see it one more time. Okay, this is our resource grid. This horizontal axis is time, vertical axis is frequency, and this in bold line it is represent one resource block which contains smallest unit is resource element, and how a resource element will contain bits. How many bits it will contain, that depends on the type of modulation that has been used. And how many resource element in a resource block, that depends on the for time domain, that depends on the whether it is a normal cyclic prefix or extended cyclic prefix. If it is a normal cyclic prefix, we have 7 OFDM symbols. So for normal cyclic prefix, there are 7 resource element in horizontal axis, and for extended cyclic preface we have in one time slot we have 6 OFDM symbols. So if it is an extended cyclic preface, instead of 7 in time domain, we'll be having 6 boxes, 6 resource element. And for vertical axis, it is fixed to 180 kilohertz. And how many in 180 kilohertz, how many resource elements will be there, how many blocks will be there, that depends on the difference between the subcarriers. If it is a 15 kilohertz, then total 12 subcarriers. Okay, so this is how the size of this box resource block is 7 into 12. 7 into 12 for the normal cyclic preface and delta F of 15 kilohertz. Okay. So that was an example. Now we see how we can define the total number of resource block, resource elements. And okay. So we will start with the smallest unit. So this is this picture is from your textbook. It is almost same picture, but instead of numbers, we have defined the actual value which can be there. So this is vertical axis your frequency, and horizontal axis your time. Time means OFDM symbols, and frequency means the number of subcarriers in vertical axis. Okay. Now we'll start with the smallest unit. Smallest unit is this resource element. Okay, and to define this resource block, so what is the size of resource block? Here 7 into 12. 7 is the number of OFDM symbols. So number of OFDM symbol in each block is represented by n downlink symbol. M downlink symbol. Okay, this is the number of resource, number of OFDM symbol. Now you see here bottom. Now you see here, it is from eligible to 0 to eligible to NDL symbol minus 1. NDL symbol minus 1. So the number of boxes here would be NDL symbol. NDL symbol is total number of OFDM symbol. Total number of OFDM symbol. Okay. Next is number of downlink resource block. The total number of resource block, this as represented in this bold, the total number of resource block, as we are studying this downlink. So total number of downlink resource block represented by N DL RB. Downlink resource block. Total number of resource block N DL RB, and it is equal to, it is a number in between its maximum value and minimum value. It should be a number between its maximum value and minimum value. Here, so minimum value is 6 and maximum value is 110, and it is given in this table. So it depends on the bandwidth. It depends on the bandwidth. So you can see here the number of resource blocks. The minimum is 6 and maximum is 110. It depends on the bandwidth. Okay. Okay. So now this is NDL RB is your total number of resource blocks in the downlink. So this kind of boxes, how many total boxes will be there? That is NDL RB, and it is depends on the bandwidth, and it can be a number from 6 to 110. 6 to 110. From 6, 15, 25, 50, 75, and 100, like 110 up to 110. Now, third thing is number of subcarriers in resource block. So this is our resource block. Number of FDM symbol we have seen. It is represented by NDL symbol. This axis. Here we know how many boxes are there. Now we want to know number of boxes in vertical axis. Number of frequency subcarriers. This axis. Number of frequency subcarriers. So in a resource block, how many subcarriers are there? That is represented by NRBSC. NRBSC. And how we calculate it? That depends on the delta F. Delta F into number of subcarriers should be equal to 180 kilohertz. Now, if delta F is equal to 15, we will get NRBSC, number of subcarriers in resource block, 12. If delta F is 7.5, we will get this as 24. You see this table. In case of normal cyclic prefix, delta F 15 kilohertz. For 15 kilohertz, the number of subcarrier is 12 and number of symbol or FDM symbol is 7 for normal CP. For extended CP, delta for 15 kilohertz, we have number of subcarrier 12 and number of FDM symbol 6. Okay. So now for delta F of 7.5 kilohertz. Delta F of 7.5 kilohertz. Now this number of subcarriers will be double of previous case, because delta F has been reduced from 15 to 7.5. So the number of subcarrier is 24 and the number of symbol is 3. So this is how we can calculate the total number of resource block and how many resource elements are there in a one resource block. How many resource elements are there in one resource block? Okay, now how many resource elements would be there in one resource block? In one resource grid is equal to total number of resource block into total number of subcarrier frequency into total number of symbols. Okay, total number of resource block into total number of elements in one resource block. Okay, NDL is total number of resource block and number of elements in one resource block is NRB into SC, means total number of subcarriers into total number of this side, total number of symbols. Okay, so this is the total number of resource element in a downlink resource grid. Okay. For example with 10 megahertz. Example with 10 megahertz bandwidth and delta F of 15 kilohertz. And with normal cyclic prefix, we will get total number of resource block 50. Okay. With 10 megahertz bandwidth, total number of resource block is 50. And total number of subcarrier is equal to 180 by 15 kilohertz. 180 by 15 kilohertz. So it is 12. And it is a normal CP. It is a normal CP. Then total number of symbol is 7. Okay. Now the total number of resource element in this particular example, in this particular resource grid for this particular example is 50 into 12 into 7. 50 into 12 into 7, which is 4,200 resource element. Okay. Now you know, right? Now you understand what is a resource element. It is the basic unit. Okay, this is the basic unit in a resource grid, which is known as resource element, which span one symbol by one subcarrier. Okay, one symbol by one subcarrier. One resource element, what it will represent? One symbol by one subcarrier. X-axis one symbol, horizontal axis one symbol, and vertical axis one subcarrier. So this one block, what it will represent? One symbol by one carrier. And if it is represented by index pair of KL, what will be the value of K? It will start from 0, 1 up to this side. This is your, like, let's say this resource element is represented by KL, then K is from 0 to 0, 1 up to total number of subcarriers. Total number of subcarriers is total number of resource block into total number of subcarrier. So then if we starting from 0, then we subtract, in last we'll write -1. So it is from 0 to NDLRB into NRBSE -1. K is total number of subcarriers. Total number of subcarriers. Total number of subcarrier is equal to total number of subcarrier in one resource block, NRBSE into total number of resource block. Okay, and L, this side it is total number of OFDM symbols. Total number of downlink symbols. So it is 0, 1 up to NDL symbol -1. Okay. So this is how a resource element can be in that. Now resource block. So the same thing I have written again, because now you might have understood what is resource block. So you will easily understand what is the meaning of these lines. Resource elements are grouped into resource blocks, each of which spans 0.5 millisecond. That is one slot. One slot, each of which span one slot by 180 kilohertz. 180 kilohertz. That is 12 subcarriers. The base station uses resource blocks for frequency dependent scheduling by allocating the symbols and subcarriers within each subframe in units of resource block. So this resource block is used by base station to allocate symbols and subcarriers to a user. To allocate symbols and subcarriers to a user within each subframe in units of resource block. Resource block is the basic element for the radio resource allocation. There are two kinds of resource block defined in LTE. One is physical resource block and second is virtual resource block. Now next is resource allocation. Resource allocation. Resource allocation role is to dynamically assign available time frequency resource block to different UE in an efficient way to provide good system performance. Okay, I will repeat it one more time. Resource allocation role is to dynamically assign available time and frequency resource block to different user equipments in an efficient way to provide good system performance. Okay, so this is the function of resource allocation. In LTE, channel dependent scheduling is supported and transmission is based on the shared channel structure where the radio resource is shared among different UEs. Same common radio resource is shared between different user equipments. Therefore, with the resource allocation technique, multi-user diversity can be exploited by assigning resource block to UEs with favorable channel qualities. What does this mean with favorable channel qualities? It means if you see, maybe in last week we have done this special diversity, PMI is there, where user equipments had feedback to the transmitter, feedback to the base station, and based on the fading to a particular carrier, towards the user, the base station can decide which subcarrier, which frequency to use for that particular user. Okay, so this is is known as favorable channel qualities. With OFDMA, the downlink resource allocation is characterized by the fact that each scheduled UE user requirement occupies number of resource block, while each resource block is assigned exclusively to one UE at a time. Okay, each resource block is assigned exclusively to one UE at a time. Now PRB and VRB, physical resource blocks and virtual resource blocks, are defined to support different kind of resource allocation types. Different kind of resource allocation types. In LTE, downlink supports three different kind of resource allocation: type 0, type 1, and type 2. Okay, the main topic is resource allocation, and in LTE there are three different type of resource allocations: type 0, type 1, and type 2. The downlink scheduling is performed at E node B based on the channel quality information fed back from UE, and downlink resource assignment information is sent to UE on the PDCCH channel. It is PDCCH. Okay. Downlink scheduling is performed at E node B based on the channel quality information fed back from UEs at the downlink resource assignment information is sent to UE on the PDCCH channel. Okay. Now, PRB is defined as OFDM symbol, number of OFDM symbols, consecutive. NDL symbol is total number of OFDM symbols, consecutive OFDM symbols in time domain, and NRPSC, the consecutive subcarriers in frequency domain. The same as physical with resource block. Same, this is resource block. Okay. How it is defined? NDL symbol, consecutive OFDM symbols in time domain, and consecutive subcarriers in frequency domain. Therefore, each PRB corresponds to one slot in time domain of 0.5 millisecond and 180 kilohertz in frequency domain. Okay, and PRBs are numbered from 0 to NDL minus 1. Total number of resource block. NDL is total number of resource block from 0 to NDLRB minus 1 in frequency domain. From this side, from this is like one block. After this, one block will come. So total number of resource block from 0 to NDRB minus 1. Now this is your type 0 resource allocation. Okay, so what happened is, in type 0 resource allocation, several consecutive PRBs constitute a resource block group RBG. So you see in this figure, this smallest box here is one PRB. Okay, so several consecutive PRB is one RGB, resource block group. Several consecutive PRB is one RGB, resource block group. Several consecutive PRB constitute a resource block group RGB, and resource allocation is done in units of RGB. And resource allocation to a user is done in the units of RGB. The number of RGB is assigned to one user, how many numbers of RGB, which RGB is assigned to a user, like that. The allocated RGBs to a certain UE do not need to be adjacent to each other, which provides frequency diversity. Okay. The RGB size is P, that is the number of PRB in each RGB, is depends upon the bandwidth. Okay. For example, in this figure, this
group of PRB is RGB 0. Then another this 4 group of PRB is RGB 1. Similarly, this 4 group of PRB is RGB 2. So a group of PRB is known as RGB 0. And how many PRB would be there in one RGB? That depends on the bandwidth. For example, it can be for these are the total number of resource block. If it is less than 10, the size of PRB in a RGB is 1. The size is represented by P. If it is from 11 to 26, P is 2. 27 to 63, P is 3. From 64 to 110, P is 4. Okay. For example, in this figure, P is 4. P is 4. That's why one RGB has 4 PRB. One RGB has 4 PRB. Okay. Similarly, this 4 PRB is RGB1, this 4 PRB, RGB2, RGB3, 4, 5, like that. So many RGB will be there. And this field PRB is representing a PRB which is allocated to a particular UE. PRB which is allocated to a particular UE. So here they allocate a complete RGB to a certain UE. For example, in this figure, RGB 0, RGB 3, and RGB 4 is allocated to a user. And another point is, it is not necessary that these RGB are adjacent to each other. The allocated RGB would be adjacent to each other, because as we see here, they will decide resource block from the feedback base with the favorable channel qualities. Okay, so it is not necessary that they would be adjacent to each other. Okay, which will provide frequency diversity. Okay. So I will repeat, maybe I will repeat one more time. This is type 0 resource allocation, in which a number of PRB, a group of PRB is known as RGB, and how many PRB would be there in one RGB, that depends on the bandwidth, and it can be 1, 2, 3, 4, and one complete RGB is assigned to a user, a particular user, and those RGB not necessary to be adjacent to each other. For example, in this, it is RGB 0, RGB 3, and RGB 4 are assigned to a user. Okay. So if it is not visible on screen, what? Here RGB size P is 4, and RGB 0, 3, and 4 are allocated to a user. Next is type 1. In this, now RGBs are grouped in the RGB subset. All RGBs are grouped into number of RGB subset, and certain PRBs inside a selected RGB subset are allocated to UE. For example, this is your in this the total number of 4 subset are there. So this is your RBG subset 0, RBG subset 1, subset 2, subset 3, and after that again RBG subset 0, RBG subset 1. Okay. The total number of P RBG subset, where P is the size of RBG. Size of RBG we have seen here. Size of RBG can be 1, 2, 3, 4. It is total number of PRB and RBG contained. Okay. So how many number of subset would be there? That also equal to P. For example, if it is a 4 PRB in a 1 RGB, then total number of subset also 4. And difference from type 0 is, in type 0 we assign the whole RBG to a user, but here we assign certain PRB inside a selected RGB subset. Instead of complete RGB, we assign certain PRB inside a RGB subset.
If you see this figure, can you identify which PRBs are assigned to a, which PRBs are allocated to a user? Okay, so this one from RGB subset 0 and this one from RBG subset 0. Okay, the RBG size P is 4 and RBG subset 0 is allocated to UE.
Okay. Now type 2.
In type 2 PRP, in type 2 resource allocation, physical resource blocks PRBs are not directly allocated. Instead, virtual resource blocks VRBs are allocated, which are then mapped with PRBs. And the VRB is of same size of PRB. Okay, this is your
Type 2. Next is supported MIMO
modes. Multi-antenna transmit and reception MIMO is a physical array technique that can improve both reliability and throughput of the communication over wireless channels. The baseline antenna configuration LTE is 2 transmit antennas at the cell site and 2 receiving antennas at the user site. And in higher order MIMO is also supported up to 4 transmit antenna and
4 receive antennas.
In higher order, it can support up to 4 transmit and receive antennas. The downlink transmission support both single user MIMO and multi-user MIMO. For single user MIMO, one or multiple data streams are transmitted to a single user through space-time processing. And for multi-user MIMO, modulation data streams are transmitted to different users using same time frequency resource. These are the 4 modes of single user MIMO which are supported. Transmit diversity with space frequency block code SFBC, open loop spatial multiplexing. This we have studied last week. Open loop spatial multiplexing supporting 4 data stream. Closed loop spatial multiplexing with closed loop recording as a special case when channel rank is 1, and fourth one is conventional direction of arrival DOA beamforming. And supported MIMO modes are restricted to user equipment capabilities.
Okay. So till now we have seen
the resource in downlink. Now uplink FDMA,
uplink SCFDMA radio resource. So in uplink, what we use in LTE? SCFDMA. Okay, for LTE uplink transmission, SCFDMA with cyclic frequency is adopted. And SCFDMA we already have studied, right? SCFDMA possesses most of the merits of OFDM while enjoying a lower PAPR. Okay, it has a lower peak average to power ratio. Lower PAPR is highly desirable in uplink as less expensive power amplifiers are needed at user equipment. Okay, this we know, right? As at base station we can use high power amplifiers, but at in mobile phones we cannot use high power amplifiers. So lower PAPR is highly desirable in uplink. Now frame structure of uplink. There is no difference between frame structure of uplink and downlink. Both are same. Only difference is instead of OFDMA symbol, we will write SCFDMA symbol here, and instead of OFDMA subcarrier, we will write SCFDMA subcarrier. The remaining thing is same. Each slot is of 0.5 millisecond and subframe conveys to slot like that. Okay. Then physical resource blocks for SCFDMA. There is no difference. Only difference is now name will change. Instead of downlink symbols, now we write uplink symbols. and instead of downlink resource block, we will write uplink resource block. And this is also between 6 to 110. And the resource block error frequency will be same. It is 12 when delta F is 15 and number of symbols is same 7 and 6. There is no difference between downlink and uplink, only the representation will change. Okay. Similarly, for resource allocation, it is also similar to downlink. And for supported memo box, there is one difference. It supports only multi-user memo. Okay. That is the only difference between downlink and uplink. So today, so we have covered till here. So half of the third module is done. So maybe in next lecture today at 3:30 we will start this second half of the module. For your attendance, you can type in chat box. I will note it down. Please do it fast, and after typing your attendance, you can leave the meeting. Why few people are joining now? Okay, if everybody has typed their attendance, we will leave. Okay, thank you for attending the class.